18 days before the election. They're just stepping on one rake after another. Did you hear what Tim Walz said about his own 90-year-old mother? Do I need to ask you what's wrong with this statement? I'm going to play for you. This guy is such a disaster. Oh my gosh. When I think of the bullet we dodged our side of the aisle by her not picking Josh Shapiro, I am so she takes Pennsylvania, she very well wins the presidency. And he's a lot more normal than this weird Tim Walz. It's so funny how he came out of the gate calling Donald Trump weird. And Tim Walz is arguably the weirdest national candidate anybody's ever seen. He says things that are so stupid. You want to almost call him and say, Governor Walz, did you hear yourself? To borrow the line from J.D. Vance with Martha Raddatz. Listen to what he said in trying to attack Trump. I guess this is over Medicare, but listen to what he says about his 90-year-old mother. Now, I'm not even going to comment on it. I'm going to ask you, do you see anything wrong with saying this about your own mother?
You know what? When my mom looks for that Social Security deposit to be made in her bank account, that's how she's going to feed herself. That's how she's going to get things done. He doesn't give a damn if his Social Security check comes or not. So let's be very clear. If any of our relatives or anyone gives us this, if they tell us, well, Donald Trump's understand us, that's bull.
Do I need to say anything about a man who's obviously left his 90-year-old mother to fend for herself? You don't get your Social Security check, you ain't gonna eat. Sorry, Ma. I got my own bills to pay. His net worth is reported to be well over $1 million. And he'd be richer if he didn't take all those trips to China. Wonder what he's doing in China. Over and over. He and Gwen. And the wife. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine having a second lady like that screwball? I can't get over the interview that she gave where she smelled the burning tires and the debris from the George Floyd riots and thought that was a positive smell. Smelled good. It smelled like freedom or whatever. Do you have that clip somewhere in the archives, Christian? This is what we're dealing with right now. It's a comedy. And it's a comedy of errors for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Yeah, she is a Lulu. She is a doozy. Yes, there's nothing like the smell of burning tires to warm the cockles of my heart as those George Floyd rioters are. She actually said this. This is not AI. This is not an actress. This is Gwen Walz, the first lady of Minnesota, talking about the smells of the George Floyd riots that her husband let flourish throughout Minnesota, forcing the police to stand down, letting them take over police precincts and commandeer and hijack police precincts. Here's the wife of this weird Tim Walz.
I would say those first days, when there were riots, I could smell the burning tires. And that was a very real thing. And I kept the windows open for as long as I could because I felt like that was such a touchstone of what was happening.
Now, I'm going to give just a technical bit of advice. If you're smelling burning tires, close the windows. Put on the AC or the heat. Don't leave the windows open for as long as. Wonder what that did. I mean, do you think she got euphoric? She waltzed through the houses? Through the rooms of the house? The burning tires. Oh, keep those windows open, honey. We want to smell that some more. Look, she's nuts. Ain't no other way to describe that. That's nuts. And he's nuts. Can you play the clip about the mom one more time? As if I need to point out the obvious?
You know what? When my mom looks for that Social Security deposit to be made in her bank account, that's how she's going to feed herself. That's how she's going to get things done. He doesn't give a damn.
That's how she gets things done. My 90-year-old mother. What, you a little busy, Governor, to help your mom get things done? Boy, with a son like him, with a son like him. All right, let's dive in. I want to find out if you think it would help. Because, look, I'm quietly confident here. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty optimistic about 18 days from today. And I'm thinking, what could they pull out of their hat? What could their October surprise be? What are they going to do that they haven't tried already? Well, maybe they'll make Biden quit. If they force him to resign and swear her in and install her days before the election, will that help her or hurt her? Jim in San Antonio. Hey, Jim, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Sure.
I think it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. It wouldn't help her at all. I mean, Biden's a buffoon. She's a buffoon. You can't hide being a buffoon by switching jobs. So, no, it wouldn't help her whatsoever. You know, Obama, he picked a VP with a lower IQ than himself, and that's what Biden did. And there weren't many left when Biden got there, but he picked the one person that had a lower IQ than himself, and now she's it. So installing her as president would just be a meaningless joke.
All right, let's see what others think. Marilyn in Columbus, Ohio. One open line, 800-655-MIKE. What do you think, Marilyn? Would it help her or hurt her if he quit?
It would absolutely hurt her. I just finished voting for Trump all the way, Republican all the way,
yes, ma'am,
here in Ohio.
Yep.
And I turned on my radio when I got in the car and I heard you ask that question. And honestly, that would make me run to the polls quicker than ever, and I would grab everybody and have them running with me. That is the scariest thought that I can imagine. The thought of her being president is absurd, and I'll tell you what, my grandchildren, middle school age grandchildren, were watching Brett Baer interview her a couple nights ago, and every one of them could see right through her. Without me having to say a word, they all said, she's crazy. We don't want her for president.
Wouldn't be hard to do. Good, Marilyn. Appreciate the update. Hope to see you Tuesday in Westerville for the Battleground Talkers Tour. Battlegroundtour.com for tickets. Eddie in Paducah, Kentucky. Hey, Eddie.
Hello, sir. Hey, I think they will try to install her, but I don't think it'll help her.
You think it'll hurt?
It would hurt. I think they would want to do it just to make her president.
All right. Appreciate it. Rick in Jacksonville, Florida. Rick, how are you?
Hey, good, sir.
Good. What's up?
Hey, it should neither help her nor hurt her because she's an unconstitutional VP. Please ask me why.
Well, because she hasn't gotten a single primary vote in the entire process?
Well, that's it, but that's also past the point of the beginning of what the Constitution in Article 2 says. It uses the male pronouns, which the left loves, 19 separate times talking about who can be president, and she is not that.
Well, there you go. All right, 800-655-MIKE. Harrison in Gloversville. Hey, Harrison, welcome back. What do you think? Would it help her or hurt her?
It would hurt her, but it would also blow an opportunity they might try. Because I think what happens is if Trump wins and it isn't overwhelming, he resigns the next day and installs her, and then he gets sentenced to prison in New York, and they turn around and install her as president.
I don't think that can even work technically. I don't think that, but it's a good theory. Look, nothing surprises me at this point. So your theory is that he would resign after Trump wins, so that in the month of December there would be. Can you imagine that kind of chaos? Don't put anything past them. Don't put anything by them.